All right. We are here. It is 6 o'clock on Monday, the 19th. Welcome back, everybody. Clint here today with Classic Firearms here on the live stream to talk with you guys all about related stuff, and some questions y'all might have, and what's been happening, and all that type of fun stuff. So let's go ahead and just hop right on into it, and hopefully you guys join and have a conversation. So if you're watching this after the live stream. That's quite all right. We appreciate you joining us. And of course, don't forget to tune in when Kaya joins also or goes on the live stream and has all that type of fun stuff. So, anyway, here we are now Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and other places. I probably Twitter. And go ahead and give us a like if you're on any of those. And let's just hop right on into it. So, thank you guys for joining. And I already see quite a few of you guys in here also, which is great. And I'm so ready to talk to you guys because I've missed you guys. I wasn't able to join last week, but that's okay because I'm here this week. So anyway, very first question right off the bat, what happened to Alec? So Normac, I'll let you know, Alec, we love him. We've been trying to get him actually back on the channel just to come and say, hey, but he is a very busy guy. He actually went and started his own business. So more power to him. I know being doing a lot of work. So anyway, we missed him. Okay. Alrighty here. So let me see. I wanted to make sure my Bluetooth speaker wasn't attached because or connected. You guys don't need that feedback. And on top of it is actually one of my A3 tactical stocks. This is a stock, not a firearm. So I should be able to show it in video without getting in trouble. All right. But A3 Tactical makes some pretty cool stuff, and I'm trying out some of their things. In fact, if you see this speaker sitting right here, I'm not going to grab it to show because, obvious reasons. Like I just said, it's got a A3 Tactical stock on it. I took off the one that comes with it, and it's solid. You'll be seeing some videos with A3 Tactical stuff coming up soon. And if you know of them, well, great. You know the product. And if you don't, you might want to look them up. Brock and the boys over there are awesome dudes. All right. Uh, let's go ahead. Oh, and the other thing too, I want to let you guys know is I'm going to try to get to as many questions as possible without being, way too long into a video or anything like that. And of course, all of you that are looking to support the channel and want to provide a super chat or anything like that, of course, I'll highlight you guys and answer you guys as quickly as I possibly can and make it a priority. All right. But Jeremy is asking a really good question also, Jeremy Wilson. What's the very best make AR with the price not being an issue? And that one is going to be a very opinionated thought for a lot of people, I think, because if you talk about the very best AR with price not being an issue, all right, you guys already know down in the chat. Let's go ahead and give Jeremy some questions without price issue. I would say if you guys saw our build series, the one that I built, that high-end AR that was $1,000 after all said and done, I loved that. That was absolutely everything I could want. Pretty much anything with that Radiant ADAC lower. It's an ambidextrous lower receiver that is just absolutely beautiful, and they are the ones that really did such a fine job on that. Those Radiant ARs are fantastic. Right? Let me just say that. All right. And then there was another company that I can't remember now, actually in a video that with Alec, he talked about, he and I talked about like the top five fight of ARs. And there was another company that I cannot remember the life of me now. And if you guys find it, hold on, because that was one that I actually contacted them where they reached out to me and said, hey, let's work together on something. But I've had a lot of things going on. And I'm like, crap, I need to get back to you. So if they're watching, hey, maybe I should get back to my email or where the hell it was that you messaged me. If I go to Classic Firearms, oh, hey, look, we're live. How about that? And I searched top defense guns everyone should own. No, wasn't that one. Top 5 most important gun upgrades, best battle rifles, best dual pistols, best. We got a lot of videos. I don't know if y'all realize that or not. We got a bunch of freaking videos out there. Best sniper rifles, best shotguns, best AKs, best show, 22, best AR-15s below 1500. Was it that one? Let me see. I hope we have chapters in this one because that'll make life a lot easier. Yes, we do. Brigade, IWI, Colt, Springfield Armory, FN, Springfield. That's not a top five fight. Crap. So it wasn't that one. The best AR-15s top five fight. Here it is. BG Defense is up there for me. But the BG Defense, um, that is who I, for reasons, could not um, remember. But yeah, their stuff looks solid. So that would be one that I would definitely check out. All right. But anyway, let me see here. We've got a super chat coming in here from Pepe. Nice. Thank you for the support and contribution. You rock, bro. Bro has to distance himself from the feds. It makes me want to puke. He's kind of cool, but damn, it's not 1925 prohibition. The FBI is illegal. Are you responding to somebody else? Because I'm. Are you saying I'm distancing myself from Kaya? Anyway, blackout coffee, but that's actually scotch. That's pretty funny comment. But it's not 1925 prohibition. The FBI is illegal. And you know, I saw somebody's comment on Kaya's live stream last week, talking about how he and I have very different takes about three-letter agencies and feds and stuff like that. Obviously, him being a previous FBI agent, former FBI agent, I hope former at least. And anyway, and it's a pretty funny dialogue that he and I have fairly often. He understands that I am very much so, um, you know, very small government, very minimal government involvement, pretty much no government involvement when it comes to private lives. The government actually has one job, and that's to protect the people, right? So they take that and they say, well, we need to protect you against yourselves. So we're going to incorporate all these three-letter agencies to dig into your life, to make sure you're safe from you. Fuck. Anyway, so that's how I feel about that. All right. But anyway, continuing on here, I know I just saw the man, the myth, legend, Professor Matt Capaldi in here. Miss you, buddy. When you return to the undisclosed bunker location, miss you too, man. And I will be back very, very soon. So I have made some changes in my life. I just, if you guys listen to the Batman Tactical podcast, I was on there with Ian and Chris Tonto Toronto, and I kind of talked a little bit about what's going on. But ultimately, I just I needed a change, right? It's one of those things where it's like I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina my entire life, and I needed a change. Not to get too personal on the Classic Firearms live stream, but ultimately make sure you guys are paying attention to your mental health. And if you know, have, if prioritize yourself sometimes, all right? Try to do that, okay? But anyway, also somebody's saying audio issues. I hope that's not the case. Let me see. Am I hearing myself here? Are you guys still having audio issues? Sounds like I'm drowning. That's not good. Let me move the pop filter and see, and move this a little bit closer and see if you guys see if that sounds any better for you. And make sure that it's plugged in way. So does that sound better for you guys? Let me know down in the comments. Here you go. All right, cool. So anyway, what I was saying ultimately is I think the Battle Line Tactical podcast where I talk to Chris, I talk a little bit too about what's going on, and and that's that. So anyway, but yeah, thank you guys. Yes, I am in the bunker. Yeah, that is very true. All right. So, but yeah, Matthew Capaldi, it's always good to see you, bro. I will, of course, be back very soon because we are going to be um, shooting a new video series. I haven't all that secretive about it. We partnered with a lot of great manufacturers to uh, shoot a bulk shotgun series. I know a lot of you guys have talked about shooting some distance, and are we gonna be doing another series sometime soon? The answer is yes, we are. So that is something I'm really excited about. So, you guys will be seeing us very soon all about that, all right? Uh, Still terrible. Not, you're still cutting me out. You're the one who can't hear him. Hmm, that is super unfortunate. Where is make sure everything's plugged in okay. Sorry, guys. And let me make sure the audio. Hello, hello, hello. All right. Yeah, I hope it's working for you guys. All right. And let's try that there. Let's see if that sounds any better, right? So, anyway, I'm just trying that there, okay? So, let me know if that's working for you guys now. Just changed up a setting there, all right? So, hopefully that sounds a little bit better. Much better. Okay, cool. There we are. So, anyway, all right, cool. Now that I think I've got that crap worked out, my bad, guys. Let me get back to a couple more of the chats on over here. Bam. Thank you, Hungry 40s, Hungry 40S. Which LPVO has the best eye relief and budget friendly? To be completely honest with you, I think budget friendly is the keyword here, and best eye relief. We're going to talk, I think, Swamp Fox. All right. So that is, I've got a couple other optics sitting over there. I'm not going to get up to grab them right now. I tried to clean off my desk a little bit because it was getting a little cluttered. All right. But ultimately, yeah, Swamp Fox, budget, durable, clear glass, awesome reticles, and great eye relief, which is what you were asking about right there. And so if I had to choose just, a really budget-friendly optic, I would go with Swamp Fox. Those guys are great, and Miles apparently is my, what they call him, emo doppelganger, which is pretty funny if you ask me, because I actually like quite a bit of emo music. I just don't have the look that he does, But anyway, great dude. And so, yeah, thank you for everybody tuning in. Also, I see you guys. That's awesome. Legacy Productions, always good to see you, man. The only thing to listen to when doing paperwork anymore, top 5 fights coming. Yes, there are top 5 fights. Top 5 fights. Try to say that 5 times as fast as you can. Yeah, there are definitely more top 5 fights coming, so stay tuned, and I think you guys are going to appreciate the content there, all right? Yeah, Hungry, thank you again. I think I've got the audio problem fixed now. And everything I see here is looking good, I believe. Audio sounds much better. Awesome. All right, great. I just need to bring the mic closer to my face. You would think, me being on video for as long as I've been on video, I'd figure this shit out by now. Anyway, let's see here. So, Optimus Prime, Autobots. Thoughts on Bergara B14 HMR Wilderness. So, first of all, Bergara makes a fantastic rifle, and I guess I can just go ahead and say it. Yes, Bergara is going to be featured in the bolt gun distance build series coming up very, very soon. So that should be pretty exciting, right? So yeah, the Bergara is solid. You're not going to go wrong with it. Just about any of the guns they have to offer. And again, there's a lot of different guns out there, so I want to see the B14 HMR Wilderness. Have I shot this specific rifle? Oh, actually, yes, I think I have. So, yeah, that's the one we got in the video room. So, it's pretty freaking sweet. My thoughts on it, it's awesome. Bergara, like I said, is a fantastic company. They're going to make a quality product that's super freaking accurate. And yeah, it's a little pricey, but when you think about a lot of the bolt guns in the game, the MSRP where this one's starting at, I'm not going to mention, prices and stuff like that for the live stream. I can't hold guns. If I start mentioning business numbers, like, prices of things, I might... Oh, no, actually, that's okay. So MSRP starting at $1,350, that's really not a bad price to get yourself a really accurate, lightweight, cool-looking rifle. And yes, a cool factor is a real factor when factoring in things to buy. All right? I mean, Just being honest, right? If you don't look cool, then what's the point? But no, Bergara is a solid rifle, and I think you're going to be very, very happy with it, all right? Anyway, Animal Priestess / Cowled Owl. Clint, do you plan on making a video about black powder guns? Yes. Yes, I do. When? Good question. But we plan on having a video out there on just about every subject that you could think of, and that includes black powder. I'll be honest with you, I'm surprised we haven't already done it or even got into a little bit of archery and other outdoorsy type stuff, because if you look at what the website has to offer, of course, you know, it's the YouTube channel, Classic Firearms. If you look at what the website has to offer, there's a lot there. There's a lot of content that we can create. And as you guys know us, even if it's not something we offer on the website, we still want to talk about it and produce content about it. So that way you guys have something to see and I have something to do, right? So yeah, we definitely plan on doing a video about black powder guns. Now the question is, what type of video would you like to see? I really wish I had it, but there's actually a black powder pistol that my dad built when he was a kid with his dad. But I think that one of my other siblings has it. So, you know, I'm not going to act too butthurt about it, as long as they take care of it and shoot it on occasion. And so, you know, doing like one of the kits that's available and building it is, you know, a pretty cool thing. So, you know, I mean, there's definitely options out there. All right. But anyway, so yeah, we do definitely plan on, you know, that. All right. So there you go. Here we go. So Dan Barnes I asked Kaya about this in the last stream, but what features do you look for with a pistol you carry as a secondary weapon? Every secondary weapon that I've ever carried, I could use efficiently as a primary weapon because I train with it. So what do I want in a secondary weapon? To make sure that it is going to be just as good as my primary weapon. So in other words, if I train with my Sig 365X macro or my Canik Mate MC9, both of which have red dots on them, both of them have great capacity, both of them are similar as far as function, I make sure that my primary and my secondary guns are, well, in a stressful situation, if I'm having to switch to my secondary gun, you know, my backup, whatever it might be, I need to make sure that I'm not having to go ahead and tell myself to think about a different training method or a different muscle memory or whatever else it might be. That's the opposite of what muscle memory is, but I want them to be similar. Because again, if I'm going to a secondary, that means I'm probably even more stressed because I'm already in a stressful situation because I had to draw my primary. But now my primary is out of battery for some reason, out of the fight. Now I need to go to my secondary, so that's a bad day as it is, and I need to make sure that it's rock solid, ready to go. So it needs to be just as effective. I need to be just as efficient with my secondary because it could quite quickly become my primary. So similar optics, if not the same, similar fill, hell, make it the exact same gun, right? Whatever it might be. So there you have it. Now, I'm only speaking, of course, about sidearms, things like that. You might be talking about like a duty gun and then like an officer having a backup gun in that case. And, you know, I'm not going to speak on law enforcement's behalf because my only experience with law enforcement is a 911 call taker and police dispatcher at one point in my life for a couple of years, which was a lot of fun. But it was night shift and I was very tired. So, you know, there you go. Oh, Pew Pew Daily. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Make sure you guys are following Pew Pew Daily on Instagram. Just excellent content coming from him. I absolutely miss you, buddy, and hope to see you soon. And how excited am I about the IWI Carmel coming out to market soon? Very excited. If you guys didn't see us cover this at SHOT Show, actually, I think we ran into Ava Flanell, our friend over there, which, if you didn't see our podcast, this was our very first podcast with Stag Arms and Ava. Go check that out. I will say, however, I didn't realize it at the time, but we may have spelt her name wrong in the thumbnail, and it says Ava Flannel. That's not right. It's Ava Flanell. Even though she should totally make a Flanell line of flannels. Flanell's flannels. Flannels by Flanell. I'm it's okay. She can pay me for the idea. But anyway, the reason I bring that up is because that's the same booth at IWI that we ran into Ava with. Was that SHOT Show or was that the NRA annual meet? these shows start to flow together, and I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, I am excited about it. It's a different design, different type of gun. It's a little bit heavier, boy. But from what I remember, piston-driven guy, I need more time with it. I need to shoot it. So that's how I feel about that. All right. Oh man. I see that we also have another super chat in the chat, and bam, Tanner Sitterman. Good to see you, Tanner. Thanks again for commenting and, providing the super chat. But anyway, do you still have a FN Ballista? If so, is it for sale? Actually, we do have an FN Ballista. I think we actually have two. Funny story. I broke one. I had a really weird issue with some bad ammo, and I couldn't get the bolt to unlock. So the Marine in me said, beat it. And so I took, I can't remember what it was, probably a gun, another gun, like a revolver or something that had a nice blunt grip to it. Actually, I think it was a hammer. I'm just trying to sound cool, but that's very unsafe. Make sure your guns are loaded if you're going to use them as tools. They are tools. Use them how they're intended. But anyway, and I just beat it to try to get the bolt to come undone. But I think I actually broke it, and now the bolt handle just kind of does this without unlocking the bolt. So I got to talk to FN about that, and that was actually a long time ago. But we also have another FN Ballista, I believe, that's not broken. So I think we were saving it for another feature at cfcontest.com. But maybe, I don't know. We'll have to look at how well the other FN Ballistas did, or I can't remember if we gave away one or two at this point. The other FN Ballista did as far as a CF contest goes, and see what you guys think. Should we do another FN Ballista? This one is chambered in 338 Lapua, I think. Actually, I think it has two barrels. It has the 308 barrel and the 338 barrel. So that way you could use the 308 for planking, because that's a lot cheaper than 338, all right? But I think it'd be a pretty cool thing, all right? But anyway, there we go. There's actually a couple more super chats that I missed in here, so I'm going to go ahead and see what you guys are up to in here. So I see Mike, Clint, you need a fire video playing behind you. Like video of like a fireplace, like fireside chat, like FDR type of thing, or just, a bunch of, mag dumps and stuff like that taking place and explosions and cool stuff, let me know what you guys think. Or maybe I just start a fire down here. It's probably not a good idea. There's a lot of ammo in one select corner. Anyway, let's see here. What are my opinions on Elijah G? Thanks for tuning in, man, and thank you for the super chat. What are your opinions on the Silencerco Velos LPB? I don't have any personal experience with that, so I don't want to lie to you and make up something off the top of my head. But I am going to go ahead and pull up the thing, LBP, sorry. And let's take a look at that. Let's go to Silencerco's website. The Velos. That actually looks really freaking cool. The Velos, Silencerco's answer for customers seeking optimal performance from a 5.56 silencer. That looks pretty neat. So what's really cool about silencers are everybody's trying to get into the market with them. And there's a lot of companies that have reached out to us, said, hey, you should carry our product. And I'm like, we'll use it for content. We'll, test it and see how it stacks up amongst other silencers. We'll do comparisons and things like that. We're not Pew Science by any means. Jay, who's freaking awesome. But I'd be happy to try your product out and give you my honest feedback and potentially shoot a video on it. And so, by the way, did I mention we're not carrying silencers on the website yet? Stay tuned. We hope to be your go-to NFA dealer very, very soon. All right. It's not that we don't have an SOT as it is. We just want to make sure that we are a very fluid and efficient website when ordering NFA items, like we already are when it comes down to ordering your FFL items, your firearms, right? And so we want to make sure that our database is accurate as far as SOTs go, and we want to make sure that whenever you check out, it is a nice streamlined product at the end of it all, right? So on the technology side of things, we are getting it done. But as far as this silencer goes, the overall look is impressive. It is 3D printed, which is really neat. Inconel 625 core, fully welded. It's just a good looking gun. At that, you also have it at 15.2 ounces, just under 6 inches in length, fully welded, dedicated caliber of 5.56. Rifle hard use is what they have this labeled it as. What does that mean? Rifle hard use? Good question. I'm assuming that means like maybe not full auto, but hard use. Full auto proof is what it says. Full auto proof. Is it full auto rated? Is that a huge deal? Probably not, right? For most of us out there. My Yankee Hill Machine 762 Ti silencer, not, full auto rated, I don't believe, at least for 5.56, but, I had it for the longest time on my Mark 18 10.3 inch barrel 5.56, and it never gave me an issue. So, there you go. But as far as the actual silencer goes, it looks nice. I mean, it's a cool looking can. Cool designs all up in it and everything else. Obviously, it's made from great material. And what's really cool about 3D printed silencers is they're able to offer a lot more complicated, I guess you could say, they're not baffles. It's a baffleless system, but a much more complicated like trench going through trenches, designs, whatever you want to call them, that captures the air. And so this air is traveling to a lot more complicated system than just regular baffles. So it allows you to do things lighter and more complex, which ultimately makes for a better performing silencer because it will trap the air for longer. Therefore, that means by the time the air escapes, it is a lot cooler, so it won't give you as much of a sound signature, and it won't give you as much as a flash signature as well. Pretty cool stuff. I do plan on doing a video where I will compare probably the two most popular silencers on the market right now. Arguably the Surefire SOCOM 5.56 RC2 and the Huxworks Flow 5.56K. I plan on doing that video very, very soon, so stay tuned. And yes, I plan on doing some low light stuff with that, so that way you can see a flash signature if there is one to be seen, and how all that works. Of course, Hux works with the flow-through technology, Surefire with their reputation and longevity and service. Which one is better? I will let you know very, very soon. All right, so that one will be a fun video to shoot. All right. Hungry 40s, thank you again for the super chat. Appreciate you, and cheers. Koala is the drink of choice tonight. That is the northernmost Scotch distillery on Islay in Scotland, and I love Islay Scotches. Let me know what you guys are drinking tonight with me here on this Monday. Hope you guys had a great first day of the week. Hungry 40s is asking a really good question. The FN 510 or FNX 45 for home defense. I feel like 10 mil is a fantastic round, but really freaking hot perhaps for home defense. 45, slower, heavier boy that you don't have to worry too much about with over penetration in comparison to the 10 mil. Will they both get the job done? Yes. Have they both been getting the job done for decades? Yes. Has the 45 been getting the job done for a lot longer? Yes. Does the 10 mil outperform the 45 in just about every single way? Yes. But for a home defense situation, I'd probably go with the 45. Now, the follow-up question to that is the FNX 45 or the FN 545? Is that what it is? That's ultimately the striker-fired versus the hammer-fired versions. And you guys know my love and affection for the FN 45 Tactical, and that's probably the one I would go with. But I will say that FN hit the mark on the triggers of the FN 510 and 545. Again, being striker-fired, they're not... Striker-fired just quite isn't... Striker-fired isn't as clean and crisp a feel like a hammer-fired gun is. It's kind of like if you ever felt a Glock trigger compared to a 1911. People give 1911 shit for days, totally get it, but when it comes down to trigger comparison, 1911 is going to win every single time, right? Until you throw in one of those Timneys, and then you got a, arguably questionable debate there. But I will say that FN hit a home run with the triggers in the 545 and the 510. So there's that. Capacity on both of them are phenomenal. And I am really looking forward to getting my hands on both of those guns and doing a comparison. 510, 545, FNX 45, all of it. So as far as which one for home defense, I'm just going to go with 45 because, again, slower round that's not going to penetrate as bad as a 10 mil will, in my mind, right? So there you go. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. Pepe, 2 years from now. Yeah, bro, I'm your bro. As the former Fed literally breaks down your company. Remember, everything is a hammer. Oh, dear. Oh, boys. Stay aware, boys. Keep your head on a swivel, all right? There you go. Nah, Kaya's a great guy, and I think he's doing pretty well on video and everything, giving me a little bit of a break, which is nice. But, yeah, don't worry. I haven't gone anywhere. Well, I mean, technically I have, but I'm still with Classic, of course. Here I am. There's the logo right boop, there. So, you know, there you go. I would not make a good weatherman. Meteorologist, is that the PC term? That's technically what they are. Having a green screen and pointing and looking at another screen, I just get confused, you know. Just give me a gun and let me shoot targets. But anyway, so this is a funny question because I talked about the AR that I built for the build series, the high-end gun that they pretty much said, hey, man, make this the most badass, expensive gun you could ever make. And so I did. And what Taylor 1042 is asking, thank you for the super chat. Your opinion on carbon fiber barrels for the AR-15, with it or not? And yes, I did go with a proof research carbon fiber barrel. And here's the thing. They're lightweight, they're durable, they're super freaking cool. But as far as a lifespan goes, you know, they might not last as long as your, you know, 4150s and everything else that are out there, your chrome mollies and all that type of stuff. But keep in mind, it's a carbon fiber sleeve around a steel insert, right? And that carbon fiber is supposed to do a really good job at mitigating heat, dissipating heat quickly, and keeping the gun cooler for longer. And proof says that their barrels will stand the test of time and round count. And I believe that I would totally be down to spend a lot of ammo at the range. We're talking thousands of rounds. We just need to get a full auto lower and torture test a carbon fiber barrel. So my opinion on it, if you want to spend the money on it, go for it. Totally worth it in my mind. You're going to absolutely love it. All right, so there you go. That's my thoughts on that, all right? Let's see here. Mike U, $4.99. Thank you so much for the super chat. You're awesome. And my opinion, what is the best 9mm defensive round for your everyday carry? Oh, boy. So I like a few different rounds. I do like the 147 grain Federal HSTs, but they are heavier. And coming from a shorter barrel gun, they might not do as much as far as expansion does. So something a little bit lighter would be probably pretty good. You reach that 90 grain. They're traveling fast. It's hot. But I like to also have, personally, I just like the idea of something being a little bit heavier, making that impact. So I think a sweet spot is that 124 grain, you know, because I also feel like that's a really reliable weight. So I think unlimited ammo makes a pretty good defensive round, 124 grain, and that's what I'm carrying as an unlimited 124. I can't remember what they call it. I'm looking to see if I have a box sitting on my desk here. I know I've got a box somewhere, but anyway, I can't remember the name that they call it. But anyway, so as far as the best 9mm defensive round in your everyday carry, a good hollow point, 124 grain, Hornady critical defense makes a great round. But those Federal HSTs, I know they're 147, but those ones I just keep kind of going back to. But again, as far as their performance goes, out of a shorter barrel, you know, not too short. Out of something like an MP5, yeah, that sounds pretty sweet, you know. But they do need that little bit added barrel length to get up to a good velocity, so that way you get that maximum expansion. You know, so something like I said, a little bit lighter in that 124 grain, I think you'll be pretty happy with. All right. But anyway, let's get over here. Chris Cash, what's up, Clint? Just picked up a Dana Defense M4A1 Riz 3. You got the R3 ambidextrous rifle? Because if you do, that sounds pretty freaking awesome, and I think you have made a very wise decision. All right. But anyway, you finally got your first standard defense. Won't be my last. All gun laws are infringements. So not much of a question, which is completely cool because I definitely agree with the statement. All gun laws are infringements. That is absolutely true. There's actually a lot of laws on the books that are absolute infringements. More laws don't make for a more civil society. So there's that at the end of the day. But oh well, what are you gonna do? Let's see here. Ooh, man, you guys are putting out some good questions out here too. So thank you guys all up in here. Appreciate you guys so much for tuning in and everything. This is awesome. Legacy's asking a really good question too about what would I prefer to own. The best pistol firing mechanism in your opinion: hammer, striker fired, internal hammer, etc. Man, I am honestly a hammer fired fiend. As much as I like my striker fired guns, such as the 320 that I have on my battle belt over here. Glock is just ultimately a very reliable firearm. There's so many good striker fired guns out there, like I mentioned before, with the 510, 545, stuff like that. Those are striker fired and not internal hammer, right? Or are they internal hammer? No. Now I'm asking myself questions and questioning what I know. But anyway, I'm a hammer fired fiend. Like I said, I just love the take up, the fill, the all of that. So that's how I feel about that. But yeah, hammer fired. I know it's old, but it's hard to beat. Okay, so leave me alone. Anyway. Hungry 40s is asking a really good question too about would I rather own a WA 2000 or a PSG 1, and the Walther WA 2000. We've mentioned this gun in video before, and it's an impressive gun. If I wanted a gun to own, to say I have as an investment piece, the Walther. The PSG-1 obviously too, but the PSG-1 in my mind is definitely more of a shooter, something I would take out more, things like that. The WA-2000 in my mind would just stay a pristine, safe queen because of its rarity and everything else, right? So that's how I feel about that. Personally, I think I'd rather own the PSG-1 because I know I'd use it more. I'd be afraid to break something on the WA-2000 because I don't know how readily available parts are and things like that, all right? So that's my thoughts on that. Oh man, Tanner, thank you again for the super chat. Appreciate it, bro. Instead of the 320 AXG Legion and Mark 18, I decided to get a CZ Shadow 2 Blue and a DDM 4A1 Quad Rail. Thoughts on that choice? Solid choice. That's a really good choice. The CZ Shadow 2 is a fantastic pistol. It's a great gun. Again, talking about hammer fired, fantastic trigger, feels great, runs great, and is probably one of the best feeling shooting guns I've ever shot. So you made a phenomenal choice there in my mind. And the Daniel Defense M4A1, look, if I'm being honest, it's going to be more of a practical gun for the 5.56 cartridge. That 14.5 inch barrel is going to be a better performing barrel at every distance than the 10.3 inch of the Mark 18. You made great choices, and I can't fault you on any of that. So thank you so much. All right. Again, for the super chat, and I hope you are enjoying your purchases. That's great stuff. Silly Head. That's a funny name. It's silly, if you will. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Thank you guys for all you do. If you had a crystal ball, how do you think the pistol brace bullshit will eventually play out? Keep up the great work. Well, there's organizations like Gun Owners of America and the Firearms Policy Coalition and quite a few others that are fighting against this, right? And Jared over at Guns and Gadgets is doing a really good job at laying this all out and giving a lot of good information. Blackout Coffee Co. Not a sponsor.
I'm just a fan of both Jared and Blackout, well, his coffee, which is also really good. And of course, Gun Owners of America. And so, make sure that, you're, supporting the homies out there. All right. But, anyway, the reason I bring them up is because, first of all, they're shining a really good light on what's happening. Secondly, my thoughts on how this will eventually play out. I have a hopeful thought and a realistic thought. My hopeful thought is that, this is very hopeful, this is very wishful thinking of me, is that our representatives and will actually get so much feedback, so many voicemails and emails, so much contact from their constituents that they'll see just how absolutely ridiculous not only this pistol brace rule is, but also they will see how ridiculous the National Firearms Act of 1934 is as well. And maybe if they actually talk to people that are gun enthusiasts, instead of using our likeness to try to twist our words against us, thank you, Representative Raskin, you bitch. But at the end of it all, I would hope that their constituents call them, light them up, and say, how dare you lie so deliberately to the people? The president himself obviously is a mockery. I don't give a shit if left, right, middle, agenda, whatever the hell. If you look at this president and you still think he's anything other than invalid, anything other than just a joke at this point, a laughing stock, what the hell are you thinking? But anyway, you have the president of the United States that goes up there and starts talking about how these pistol braces turn guns into machine guns or whatever else he says. That's absolutely ludicrous. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm glad, again, Jared, Guns and Gadgets, Mr. Guns and Gear, and so many others actually listen to this mumbling idiot, because I have a really hard time doing it. I just want to shoot the things that he's trying to ban. And then you got guys out there that are really doing the good work of out there trying to expose the fraud for which he is, and then the fraud for which a lot of these, again, politicians are. These are people that are willing to monopolize, or I should say, play games with your rights. And again, this isn't a business. This is our country at the end of the day. These are our rights, and they're trying to say, well, this bill won't pass if I support this. If I support the brace ban, or I should say this ban on brace ruling, whatever the hell I'm trying to say, then my bill for the budget won't get passed. And you look at Scalise and all these others that are finally getting their feet held to the fire and saying, we're done with this bullshit, right? You got Gun Owners of America. And again, I'm proud to say that I have my name signed on quite a few different documents, quite a few different letters that have been sent to the actual House of Representatives leadership to say, we're not standing up with this anymore. Right? We're not cool with any of this. I think you're all snakes and liars. And they're feeling the heat, put it that way. So I'm really hoping that they continue to feel the heat. And, well, they look at a lot of the gun legislation and regulation that's out there, and they see how absolutely ridiculous this is. Like, for instance, if they talked with us, they would realize that pistol braces don't make guns more lethal. So, yeah, so, they would also realize that the guns that a lot of these pistol braces are being attached to are shorter barrels. Shorter barrels, as you and I most likely know, shorter barrels actually are less effective due to the caliber. Let's say we're all talking AR pistols, right? That means you've got a barrel length shorter than 16 inches. That means as you start to negate the barrel length or to take away from the barrel length, that means that cartridge of 5.56 is not building up velocity. It's not getting up a lot of good speed. It's not going to have actually a more terminal effect on target. It's actually less lethal at the end of the day. Maybe a poor choice of words because it's not a less lethal option like a stun gun or anything like that. But it's not as lethal as a 20-inch. A 16-inch, an 18-inch, 24-inch, whatever the hell you want to. The shorter the barrel, the less effective, right? Less speed, less distance, less effective on target. Adding a brace doesn't make anything more lethal. If anything, it makes things safer, because now instead of holding a gun, trying to figure this out, whatever, now you actually got more points of contact, and your rounds are going to go where you intend them to go, right? And of course, some people will say, well, a school shooter or whatever else, that's just going to make them more effective. Banning the item won't ban the crime, right? It's not going to prevent anybody from committing a crime. Like I said, more laws don't make for a more polite society. More people willing to step up to the plate and end the criminal's life will. So yes, I do believe more guns create a more civilized society, right? More responsible gun ownership and people willing to take upon themselves. That's what I believe in. So anyway, rant over, except it's not over, because that was my hopeful, prediction, which isn't likely. What's more realistic is brace bans probably. I don't know. The pessimist in me is saying this is gonna definitely stick. It's going through, and then all these braces that I currently own are going to make me a criminal. If that's the case, so be it. It is what it is, and I don't know. Stack up or shut up, I guess. So that's how I feel. That's how I feel about that. I know that was a long rant, silly head, but that's how I'm feeling about it. So I appreciate you guys sticking around for that rant. And let me get to, I know a couple of you guys probably commented on that, so let me see what a few of you are saying here. This is probably one of the best comments right here. Thank you, American Daddy. It's kind of universal. Shorter equals less penetration. Is there an application where that's not true? Shorter equals less penetration. No, probably not. All right. There's a ghost behind me. That's probably. That's definitely a possible thing. All right. The Mark 18 is still relevant. It is still relevant. All right. I still love my Mark 18 for close quarters situations, but there are better things out there. All right. So, there you go. Anyway, checking and showing love to keep the page, the content. Thank you, PZ. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Pepetti's nuts. Fire. Man, you guys are hilarious. So thank you, man. Oh yeah, actually, Pepetti's nuts. Anyone know what happened to the last stream with the new girl? It got nuked. That is Sarah. That is the Peace of Mind at the Peace of Mind, and that's peace like PIECE, the Peace of Mind _ Sarah, it did get nuked. She didn't realize that showing firearms, handling firearms, showing them like back here is one thing. Handling them on a live stream will get it taken down. No strikes or anything like that, but learning has occurred, and that's all there is to it. So that's what happened there. Okay. But anyway, Legacy Productions, do you have any experience with SDI, considering going back to school for gunsmithing, but want to find some people who have actually done the class? Personally, no, I have not. I thought about doing SDI myself, actually. And then I read some things where people are talking about it kind of not being like all that great. But then I hear other people actually like swearing by what they've learned and the experience that they gained. And then I also hear other people saying, yeah, it was cool, but I could have done the same thing and watched a couple of videos on YouTube. Okay, I guess. But from what I understand, they actually provide all the tools you need for the different classes and builds and things like that. So that's pretty cool too. Granted, it is like paying for a course, so you're paying for it at the end of the day, but I don't know. Maybe it would be worth just doing myself and trying. And that way I can give you guys honest feedback about that. So, but I've also kind of done like my own thing where do trial and error, but if you want to do it as far as like a business opportunity and actually like, do some gunsmithing and make it an LLC or something, it would be very good to actually do more of an apprenticeship, I think. Find reputable gun manufacturers, reputable gunsmiths, say, hey, this is something I can add to my resume, and let SDI perhaps also be something else you can do there. So there you go. All right. Nope, you're good. That's Sarah. You don't have to apologize. It's all good. I know she isn't going to take offense to it either. But anyway, this is a really good question. HD Rider 43. What kind of, I'm assuming Harley Davidson rider. What kind of Harley do you have? Personally, I really like the newer line that they have. I think they're called the Streets, those little like cafe looking ones. I think that's what they're called. My dad rode motorcycles since he was 24. And he rode for a very long time, and I personally want a motorcycle too, but I spend my money on guns. So, there's that. But anyway, I do want to see though, maybe they don't have the Street anymore. I don't know if that's the one I was thinking of. I really do like the Indians too. My grandfather was an Indian. Was an Indian fan. But maybe it's the sport that I was thinking of. But yeah, I think that's it. But anyway, okay, that's a distraction. How many criminals obey gun laws? I want to know. And I would say I'm sipping my tea, but we all know it's Scotch. They don't. So, all right. Steez, I do want to let you know that we are based right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. However, unfortunately, we do not actually have a brick and mortar. We are not open to the public. It's insurance. It's, we don't do sales on site, put it that way. All right. So you could stop by, you could see a big warehouse that has no branding on it and be a little disappointed. Wouldn't recommend that. However, if you do go to gun shows in the North Carolina area, like at Charlotte and Raleigh, you will see Classic Firearms there on occasion. And we have pretty good deals at gun shows because sometimes they're returned items that, we call them like gunsmith specials, things like that, broke guns, stuff like that, or a lot of new in box guns too. If we have like a lot of inventory in the warehouse, we'll send some to a gun show too. Eric, who does all of our gun shows, he's a great guy. Check, so if you're local to Raleigh, Charlotte area, and there's gun shows that come up, stop by. You'll see Classic Firearms out there on occasion. All right. But anyway, yeah, I feel you, Joe Cola. That's why you like Twitch. They're cool with handling and shooting guns as long as it's done safely. I get that. What we're using here is StreamYard, and it, this streams live to multiple different platforms, including YouTube, including Twitter and Facebook, and YouTube especially gets a little mad if you handle firearms on the live stream. So, there's that. All right. Let's see here. There was another one. Bam. Here we go. Jeffrey Zeisler. Zeisler, is that right? With the $6,000 to $7,000, you got $6,000 to $7,000 to burn. Do you buy a Lualgo Alien or an Artemis Atlas DS 1911, and why? You take a class at Thunder Ranch with $6,000 to $7,000 to burn, and you buy a really good rifle to attend said class. With that being said, the Alien. Why? Because that thing's freaking nuts. Okay. That's how I feel about that. All right. Coming down a little bit lower. Good. Hello. Good to see you. And, wait, what? Pepe, I just saw you. So there's, hold on one second. That was kind of a funny question. So Pepe said, I'm literally unable to ask you to go to Rumble without Susan blocking everything for at least 10 minutes. Who the hell is Susan? Oh yeah. So, okay. All right. I haven't tried it recently. But yeah, we are looking to live stream on Rumble as well. So just, again, stay tuned. It will happen. All right. There we go. Ricky Smith, again, thank you guys, all of you guys, for the super chats and the contributions. You guys rock. You're awesome. Really appreciate y'all. Vortex Strike Eagle 1-6 by 24 Gen 2, 290, or Vortex Strike Eagle 1-8, 24 Gen 2, 330. Both come with a Vortex mount. I would be shooting 200 yards max. Go for the... Are they... Those are both second focal plane, right? Dude, 200 yards max... You don't even need magnification. Let's be real, right? If you've got $300 you're looking to spend on an optic, you could do, again, the Vortex Strike Eagle 1-6 would be more than you need. I don't know anything personally about you, but a 6-power magnification for 200-yard shots, easy, right? You're going to knock it out of the park with the 6-power. Save yourself, $40 and go with the 1-6. If you want the 1-8 because you want those 2 extra magnifications, go for it. That's completely up to you. But personally, 1-6 is going to be solid. In fact, that's a lot of what the United States military is using now, going to the Sig Tango 1-6, stuff like that. 6 times magnification, 6 power. It's going to get you on target accurately, precisely. Save yourself a little bit of money. Go for the 1-6. If you are reaching beyond 600 yards, sure, go to the 1-8, right? You'll be good with it. I'm also coming from the mindset of a Marine who, for the longest time, for a long time was shooting iron sights, but utilizing the fixed power fix the 4 times magnification of the Trijicon ACOG. Can't pick up the gun, but and engaging our known distance target out to 500 yards very effectively, 4 power. So it really comes down to your reticle and ultimately your skill. 6 power is going to do you fine. All right. Let's see here. Texas 13 Outlaw, thank you for the super chat. Like your, where is it at? Like your picture. It's really patriotic and cool. Neat. Got gifted a 15-inch Anderson barrel. 15-inch, interesting. 1-8. Want to match it up with an arrow upper, good choice, or better, FDATF in this tyrannical government. Their day will come. Our founding fathers would be pewing by now. Yeah. I got comments. And I mean, hell, our founding fathers were pewing for a lot less taxes than what we are currently being taxed. Arguably without representation. Are there any candidates legitimately that you have voted for that are actually representing what you voted them for? So, are there candidates that have been that are career politicians that have actually been in it for the constituents and not, lining their own pockets? A career politician, nah. Anyway, 15-inch barrel, 1-8. Want to match it up with an arrow upper, good choice, or got a better receiver, FDATF. Just want to say that again. Look, arrow precision makes a solid product, and you're going to be really happy with that choice. And quite frankly, shit works, and it works really, really well. So a 10 out of 10. Go with the arrow upper receiver. Are there better receivers out there? Sure. Do you want to spend a lot of money on one of those really fancy, is it BCM uppers that I really, really like? It's completely up to you. But I can tell you right now, Arrow's going to get the job done, and you're going to be satisfied with it. It's going to be clean. It's going to work. So there you go. Let's see here. All right, hold on. Hold on, bro. There was a problematic sight situation put out maybe 2 years ago. Susan put you at like 48 in the U.S. Bro, you got to fill me in. What are we talking about? Put you at like 48 in the U.S. What am I missing? You guys fill me in. I'm not sure who the hell this Susan person is, or what's going on. Problematic site situation. Put out maybe 2 years ago. Susan, I don't even know what to look up. Pepe, I'm lost, bro. Is something that's going over my head? I haven't been getting a lot of sleep lately, so I'm a little tired. So forgive me, but I have questions about what's going on. But boop. Dwayne Hawks, thank you for the super chat. Can I put an M4 together with PSA receiver? Yes. I mean, Palmetto Stud Arms makes great products. They work. They're affordable. You know, I mean, what more can you say? But can you put an M4 together with a PSA receiver? Yeah. Yes, you can. Maybe I'm not completely following what exactly the question is, but yes, absolutely. All right. Thanks for the super chat. Don't let Kaya steal your clout. Hey, we're a team. We work together. We want to make sure that we're producing content for you guys and everything. I'm good with it. All right. So yeah, Pepe, I'm curious. Susan is the YouTube director. Is that what it is? Dude, I don't even. Okay. Yeah. Well, she was not happy about guns being on her site. That's for sure. But, oh, well, things have changed, quite a bit. ADM is another great receiver set, or receiver option too. American Defense Manufacturing. Love them. They're great. Let's see. There was one, Donald J. Trump, the 45th and last legitimate president of the United States. Yeah, I guess, I have my thoughts about Donald Trump too, again, yeah, I saw one of you guys commented about the bump stocks here. Aside from the bump stocks, Trump was better than most. Yeah, but I do believe he actually passed more anti-gun legislation than also a lot of other presidents. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like a lot of what Ronald Reagan did, but he also increased taxes, even though he was known for not. And he also put in the 1984 Gun Control Act. So that sucks. 1986. That's anti-gun legislation. And a lot of y'all might not like this, but typically you only see tyrants regulate, disarm citizens. So there's that. All politicians are corrupt. That's, I'm just trying to be real about all that guy. Real about all that. So there you go. Clint is an anarcho-capitalist confirmed. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to deny it, I guess. I don't really subscribe to anything. I believe putting titles on everything is kind of like one of the reasons why this country's so jacked up. The two-party system shouldn't exist. There shouldn't be a thing called a Republican or a Democrat. It should just be American, and we should actually vote for people vote for people to represent us based off of their platforms and their, voting history and how they actually, just saying, government's a joke. How about that? Government's a joke. Voting. At one point in time, I really was of the mindset, like, how could you not vote, right? Like, dude, everybody should vote. What are you doing? There's so many countries in the world where you can't even vote, or your vote doesn't even matter because, well, they're just going to, establish whatever government or dictator or president that they want, definitely vote. And now it's kind of like they're all the same. Some are better than others. Yes. And I will also continue to vote, but I also don't, hold it against people for not wanting to vote. I actually would recommend you not to vote if all you're going to do is just go vote for somebody because they have an R or a D next to their name. That means you haven't done any of the research. You don't know what you're voting for, and you're most likely the reason why you have a jackass like what Biden is as president, right? Or, all the different, things that went along with this last election. But yeah, I would much rather somebody say, hey, you know what? I didn't vote because I failed to do the research on the candidates that I would be voting for, and I didn't know what I would be voting for, so therefore I chose not to vote. And I think you actually have a greater voice than a lot of people who say, oh yeah, they had a R or a D next to the name, so that's why I voted for them. Okay. You don't care, obviously. That's how I feel about that. Sorry if I hurt some feelings, but I'm just being real. Okay. Anyway, you mean resident? There you go. Government is fraud and extortion, nothing but violence. They have so that's the thing too, they have a monopoly on violence, and that's not how it's supposed to be whatsoever. All right. So there's that. If voting mattered, it wouldn't be legal. Well, I guess. Oh, man. Man, you guys are making some really good comments here too and everything. And maybe let AI, Jessica Hartness, maybe let AI be the next president. Yeah, perhaps, maybe. I don't know, man. Oh, that's funny. Steve Chan and Hurley spent weeks on... Yikes. All right. I feel like I was talking about something else and then got distracted again. I'm really sorry. We were talking about, politicians and gun laws and stuff like that. So, yeah, there you go. Yeah, well, yeah. Okay. All right. Let me get back to a couple more of the chats and seeing what you guys are saying. Tanner, thanks again, man. Have you ever considered doing a meet and greet along with a day or two at the range? Yes. Not so much that I think I really justify a meet and greet and, all that type of stuff. But I would much rather host an event, get a lot of my, shooting buddies out there, stuff like that. Get some other people in the industry, get different manufacturers together, do a range day, and then say, hey, come hang out, come shoot, stuff like that. Personally, I would like it to be, free for people to attend, and let it just be, hey, let's go and do this. But if I want, time is money. Transporting people and firearms is money. So I doubt that we would be able to effectively have a successful range day without some sort of cover charge, but it would be a minimum, something like that. And maybe, cap it, right? Let there be a max 100 people attend, so that way you actually get time to spend with these, because if I call up Brandon Herrera and say, hey bro, let me fly you out to North Carolina, let's have a range day together, and let's get some people out here, and I do that with a couple of people that I'm pretty sure would say absolutely yes. Brandon Herrera, Guns and Gear, Guns and Gadgets, Such, Alec Zedra, just off the top of my head, would be like, oh, absolutely, we'll be there. And then, limit the amount of people that you can have. Start inviting a lot of manufacturers to bring exclusive stuff too, for people to try out. And then, of course, get it all on video, because that's what we do. And I think that would be a lot of fun. And then also allow for people that are attending the event to actually get some good one-on-one with these other people that they might just see through a screen, and also try out different things that, people might want to shoot. So if I got like Canic out there and LMT and maybe even Knights, if they're nice enough, Arrow would definitely come, so, there's all sorts of, different things that we could do, thank you, Nicholas, for just the donation. Appreciate you. That means a lot. Hungry 40s, good to see you again, man. Hawaii will charge $150 per concealed carry weapons application come 2024. Each permit is also per firearm. These gun laws are getting out of hand. Repeal, State Bill 1230. Yeah, that's bullshit. You shouldn't have to pay money to exercise your right. I don't agree with the NFA. I don't agree with concealed carry permits. I don't agree with having to pay for a class to get your concealed carry permit. What other right do you have to pay to exercise, right? It's still free to vote, but you do pay taxes. Never mind. You got to pay for everything. There's nothing free. Are we really the land of the free? I think that's bullshit. Are we freer than most because we can actually drive our cars from one point to the other without having to worry about getting stoned because you're a woman? Sure, that's freedom. Anyway, sorry, sometimes I crack myself up. Ernest Heflin. Hey, Clint, got to go, but I wanted to let you know that I agree with you on voting. Cheers, bro. Thank you, Ernest. Appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Again, I'm going to say exercise every single right you have. You are paying. If you're paying taxes, which I also don't agree with, exercise it. You're paying for it. Use it, right? At this point, I'm kind of like, I don't even care if it just goes into La La Land or gets shredded by some sort of, voting place worker. I'm going to vote. I'm still going to exercise my rights because I'm paying for it, and it's a waste of money if I don't. All right, so there you go. Smash Mode, thank you so much for the super chat. Any recommendations for a threaded 22 rifles that are good, suppressor hosts, rugged Oculus and gel, and only have a Mark? All right, okay, cool. So yes, absolutely, Mark 22, Mark 4, 2245 tactical. Put it on. That's awesome. Find yourself like a if you want to spend the money, a Volkortzen bolt gun, a 22 suppressed out of like a long barrel in a bolt gun. It's still supersonic. If you go for one of the high velocity ones, but it's so freaking quiet. Go for a bolt gun with a silencer. You're going to love that. Okay. But also, if you want to have a lot of fun, get yourself the Ruger 1022 with the Franklin Armory binary trigger, threaded barrel, throw a can on that, and have a hell of a good time. There you go. Those are my recommendations. You will love it. All right. Anyway, what's my go-to? Thank you, Nicholas Davis. Appreciate it. What is my go-to mid to high-end rifle for sub $2,000? Daniel Defense. I got to be honest with you, though. I will always mention this rifle because I thoroughly believe this. IWI Zion. We actually have a blog, if it's not already out, coming out, that you can find at the website, /news. That we have a blog there that base AR-15s for your next build that you can, let's see, something, I think it's coming out soon. If it's not already out, I just can't find it in all these different emails that I have right now. But anyway, yeah, the IWI Zion is mentioned in that blog and is a great option, and it's sub $1,000, right? So, again, B5 furniture already. Comes with everything you need just to go ahead and get going. It's an impressive rifle, and I would recommend that. Sub $2,000 gets you actually a lot of good gun options. But with that, again, I've said this multiple times, and I will continue to say this: don't blow your entire budget on the gun. Think gun, accessories, optic, ammo, training, right? There's a lot there. You need multiple magazines. You might want a good sling. You will want a good sling. You might want a good light. You're going to want a good optic. You're going to want to get some training. You're going to want to get ammo. It's going to be a continuous and, yeah, let's be real, expensive hobby over a period of time. Ammo isn't cheap, right? And a lot of the accessories that I like aren't cheap, so if you've got $2,000 to spend, get yourself a $700 AR, find yourself a good $200 or $300 red dot, and decent sling for another $100-$200. That might be a little bit on the high end for a good sling. There's some out there that are sub $100 that are very efficient, that will work very, very well. Find yourself a good deal on a bunch of PMags, or hell, find yourself, you can go, I know a lot of local gun shops will have, just bins of the GI mags for like $5 a piece, $3. I think I saw for like used GI mags. And then you can buy like a bundle of 100, new followers and springs, replace all that. You got yourself a good magazine. It's going to work very, very well. And you're in for a bunch of mags at a very effective cost, right? So, there's an option for you. And then training, you can learn a lot if you spend $500,000-$600,000 on one good class. That kind of incorporates a lot of different scenarios. Low light, shooting and moving around vehicles, close quarters, room clearing. And even though a lot of that might sound far-fetched, like when are you really ever going to need that? The fundamentals and the methods of shooting that you learn in these classes are what really is something that I really appreciate. Getting in those weird shooting positions and things like that when shooting like on the Viking Tactics barriers, with the accessories and attachments that you might have on your firearm really is eye-opening. If you ever find yourself having to engage a target through a really small door or something like that because they're shooting back at you and you want to try to maintain a really low profile or slim profile, make yourself the smallest target as possible, and you need to try to get a good shot on target, but you can't because you can't see, your light is blocking your muzzle from getting through a hole in the wall or whatever else it might be, and you can't see your reticle because it's blocked by another barrier, it really is, it throws you for a loop. And it's the only type of, unless you have, all the time and money in the world to kind of go and do this on your own, it really is an eye-opening experience to actually go and seek really good training. And, we have these videos on the channel too, so it's really cool that we've been really fortunate enough to make some really good relationships with people that, again, Battle Line Tactical and the Fort Scott Munitions 2-day course that we did, the Kyle Lamb course that we did, low light course with Surefire, the Thunder Ranch urban rifle course that we did with Century Arms and the AKs there. All of these different trainings that I've been fortunate enough to do, each one of them I've learned something new. And it's like, oh wow, I thought I was good before, I sucked. There's always room for improvement, right? So go out there, seek training, continue that, okay? Anyway, I know, again, that was a long rant, but, there you are. Scott Hughes, thank you for the super chat. I like your, God, I always want to point at my screen instead of like following again, this is why I'd be a bad meteorologist, right? But anyway, right there. I like your picture, Wolverines. Thoughts on the HK USP or Mark 23rd, 23rd. I can't speak. Thoughts on the HK USP or Mark 23, worth the money. You're getting USP Mark 23, hands down, arguably best pistols ever made, best pistols in the world, right? The Mark 23 is legendary, but it's a thick boy. The USP, I think, would probably be a more practical firearm. Is it worth the money? I believe so. Again, it's legendary, it's reputable, it's quality, it's gonna work, and I think it's worth the money. If anything, it's just cool to say you've got an HK USP in your collection, and that's what matters. But anyway, let me see here. Opinion on the Sig Sauer M400 Snakebite. Zach Atkins, thank you for the super chat. If you're wanting to get a Sig AR, for a good price, go for it, right? The Snakebite, what's the difference between the Snakebite and the Tread? Is there a difference? I'm actually not too sure, so I'm going to pull it up really quick. Snakebite SE, that's a cool looking gun. All right. What's this thing go for? Anybody know? I'm looking at MSRP, things like that. I want to see. It's not a bad price. Okay. So for under $1,500, you can get yourself, they call it the M400 Tread. Oh, it is the Tread Snakebite Edition, Special Edition. I see. First of all, the Tread is a fantastic firearm, and the Snakebite Edition looks freaking cool. I like that a lot. The rail on it looks nice and slim. Everything about that looks pretty cool. I would say worth it, except I don't see an ambidextrous bolt release, and there are firearms that you can buy for that price range that have the ambidextrous controls. If that's not a big deal to you, don't worry about it. But I'm saying there's different manufacturers out there that will literally give you more bang for your buck, pun intended, for that price, right? Look at LWRC. That's also a really good option. But, you still get the ambidextrous mag release from what I can see. So that's cool. But I really do like that ambi bolt release. I've done videos about, reloads, how much faster are they with the ambi bolt release, the Magpul bad lever, and also just a regular, mil spec lower. And you're pretty quick with the, depending on the ambi bolt release, who makes it, it can be a pretty quick reload. But anyway, completely up to you though. So there you go. Pepe, would you and Fed Boy be interested in going to the Red Roof Inn? I can ask, but propaganda videos go far. Bro, I don't even know what you're talking about. Obviously, I'm not up to date on what the hell's going on, but, oh, man. I've stayed at a Red Roof Inn before. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it was very budget friendly. Anyway, Radian is an excellent option. I think you guys could absolutely agree with that. So there you go. Sarchen, SRCHN, Spear in 7.62x51 or Spear LT in 5.56. Going to purchase one or the other. I know you've got experience with both. That I do. In fact, I've got both sitting behind me. Sorry. Spear LT over there and Sig Spear right here. So, chambered in 7.62x51. They're two completely different guns. 7.62x51 versus 5.56. Which one would you prefer? That's really what it comes down to. What are you going to use it for, right? Do you want, I mean, I really do like how the Sig Spear in 7.62 shoots. I like how the Sig Spear in 6.5 Creedmoor shoots better. I really like the Sig Spear LT in 5.56 a lot too, you know, but they are completely different guns. And if I were to choose one over the other, I think I probably would go with the 7.62x51 model simply because I got enough 5.56 guns. I have only got a couple of 7.62 guns and I could use another. You know? So that's how I feel about that. All right. HK suck. Don't sell MP7 for civilian market. Yeah, I know. But what they do, yeah, I know. I said do. I know one of you guys is going to say it. But what they do have available in Germany are actually guns closer to the legitimate military firearm. Take a look at like the HKMR 5.56 and the 4.16 and what's available in Germany. Literally exactly what the German military has, but you can't take the muzzle device off. Some people would say that's a deal breaker, but you also get the ambi controls and things like that. So, you know, there's pretty interesting things. So a lot of the laws that the reason why we don't have some things here in the civilian market isn't so much because of HK, from what I understand, but because of importation and exportation laws. More of them. Yay. Anyway, Texas 13 Outlaw, thank you again. Dream is Daniel Defense Mark 18. With current ATF infringements, better to build piece by piece. Blink twice, LOL. Love to have a beer with you one day. Cheers, brother. Cheers to you. Thank you very much. Yeah, at this point, I just don't think I care anymore. Build it piece by piece. It's up to you if you want to register it. Okay? If you want to fill out the paperwork and all that, it's completely up to you. If I'm being completely honest with you, I would not have bought my Mark 18 as an SBR back when I was 20, in my early 20s. I did that because, oh, that was cool, right? Like, oh yeah, I got a short-barreled rifle, you know? If I could go back in time, I would have bought a pistol and thrown a stock on the thing and never told anybody. Just kidding. I would totally obey the law. All right? Would never, ever do anything like that. I wouldn't, okay? So, anyway, but no, in all honesty, no, I would prefer the pistol option, just because it's not as complicated to travel with. Things like that, right? You won't be under such scrutiny if you were to use it in a defensive situation, because again, if you look at the different laws I mentioned before, if you use a silencer, a machine gun, even though you might lawfully possess these items, a short-barreled rifle, in a defensive situation, if you are infringing one law, if you do one thing wrong or something comes back to bite you in the ass, that's another thing that they can throw at you that can minimum 15 years. If you use, I think it is a silencer in home defense, right? And you're found to be at fault. Okay. If you use a short-barreled rifle or a machine gun, I think, don't quote me on this. The dates, the timeline is correct, but I can't remember exactly which items it is. But NFA items in general, 15-year minimum, I do believe, for silencers, 30-year minimum if you're using a shorty or a machine gun, even though you might lawfully possess these items and you use it in a defensive situation. If it's not a clean shoot, you know, and that could be argued depending on what state you're in. If you shot, you know, for instance, let's say somebody's running away from you and they're shooting back at you like this, and you shoot that person in the back, somebody could argue they were retreating. You shouldn't have shot and killed them. Oh, and you used a short-barreled rifle with a silencer attached to it. We're going to seek the minimum 30-year sentence. right? So again, lawyers are going to try to fuck you at the end of the day. They're going to take your money and they're going to try to imprison you for the rest of your life. The laws that they're trying to enforce or use against you are the ones that are there to protect you. Yep, there you go. It's all a game. You know, you should have just, let the criminal kill you. You would have been in a lot better place. Anyway, but there you go. That's, my thoughts on that. And there you go. So yeah, this is what you vote for, How long does it take to find out if it was a good shoot or not? Depends on the situation, right? Some people, again, it really depends on a lot of different states, right? Some states will say, oh yeah, that guy was trying to kill you. You're done. Other states will say, you should have tried to run away. Well, I should have tried to leave my own home, right? You should have, sought shelter before, resulting to, or, go into violence, whatever, man. People are such wusses. Yeah, Gavin Newsom, that would give you life, right? So there you go. Hit the like button for your boy Clint. Thanks, Joseph. Appreciate it, man. So oh well, none of this applies in Texas, right? Texas is a great state, and unless all these Californians keep, vacating California and voting for the same shit they left and going to Texas, right? Oh my God. Oh man. Wink, drill third hole. All gun laws are infringements. I'm not going to tell you guys what to do or what not to do. You're, I'm assuming, an adult, right? If there are children watching this program, I am sorry about my choice of words and the profanity. But also, you should know that the government exists only to infringe upon your life, to tax you, to steal your money and imprison you if you don't pay the taxes in which they force upon you. Anyway, there you go. Rusty Shackelford's in the house. I'm sure he agrees. What's up, man? I did see another super chat come through here talking about the Springfield Saint. Thank you, Zach Atkins, for that. I just got the Saint with the flip-up sights. Got it for what I think is a steal at $675. Would you suggest any upgrades? I do believe that is a steal also. The Springfield Saint is a great rifle. I always forget about it, for some reason. But yeah, the Springfield Saint is like number 2 at my list when it comes to an affordable base AR. It's really good. So anyway, would I suggest any upgrades? You've got flip-up iron sights. That's great. If you are effective with those sights, look at maybe getting a red dot, perhaps a magnified optic if you so choose to engage. I say engage. A lot of people think that term sounds violent. If you plan on shooting at targets at a greater distance, yeah, maybe look at a magnified optic, depending. But also sling. I always recommend a sling and a light, extra mags, whatever. If this is your first AR, there's a lot that I've already talked about that you can do. If this is an addition to some rifles you might already own, great. Then yeah, pimp it out, go for it, have some fun with it. And, do that. How long has this been going on? About an hour 20? Yeah, I think an hour and a half will be about a good time, I think. Whatever. I'm, getting kind of tired and all that type of stuff, but it's all good. Let's see here. Let's get to a few more. I want to double check. Thank God you're in a bunker somewhere, bro. Right. I'm just shaking. Look, preach broski should not be infringed. # common use. It is. Look. Ooh. That's a good question. Do you think Modern Warfare 3 is going to do a no Russian mission? I don't know. That's going to be spicy, if they do, especially with how soft this generation of gamers might be. But anyway. And yeah, I know I'm in a bunker somewhere, and if MJ, so I'm just looking at a couple more, chats too and everything. Jose Flores, I just got one question. What happened to the CF intro on the YouTube videos? hey, we switched it up a little bit, a lot has changed over the years, and we kind of felt like it was time to change up just a little bit. So we decided to change it a few. I know you guys are really missing the dubstep. Is it dubstep? I don't know what type of intro it was, that music before. But it's all good. We just wanted to change it up some. So, Pew Pew Daily, what's the next event you're heading out to? I see you guys asking about TriggerCon and Wichita and stuff like that. Haven't looked into it just yet. At this point, the next event, that's a good question. I don't feel like wearing my hat anymore. I'm going to hang it up over here. I don't know. I know October is going to bring a lot of things. We've got obviously Red October. We've got Kalash Bash next year, which we are definitely planning on attending and even competing in. So stay tuned. We'll figure it out. All right. But I'm not too sure. Let's see here. Rusty's wanting to know, Clint, what do I think of the 19X? Just ordered one for everyday carry. I feel shame. You shouldn't. The 19X is a really cool gun. Personally, I might have actually opted for the Glock 45. I think it might be just have a little bit of better, the forward slide serrations, things like that I don't think the 19X has to offer. But it's not that big of a deal. I do believe it's an awesome gun, though. The night sights that it comes with, hard to beat. And, of course, the 45 comes with the basic sights, which, suck. But I think the 19X is a fantastic stuff. So, there you go. I hated the intro. Glad it's gone. That's funny. Pew Pew Daily, we should hop on COD Warzone sometime. Yeah, dude, we're going to be, me and Kaya, I just re-downloaded the game. Oh, damn it. I have time for that. But for y'all's entertainment, Kaya and I do believe we're going to do some 1v1ing. 1v1 me on Rust, bro. And we're going to be playing some COD. So if you guys would like to hop on a stream with me and Kaya as we play some Call of Duty, let us know. I think that's going to be happening very, very soon. All right. There you go. Video games are fun, but nothing like shooting real firearms. That's right, McBrand 06. Glad to see you again. It's very true. There's been multiple videos done where gamers shoot guns in real life. And their reload speeds and their accuracy is not as impressive as it is whenever they're using a mouse or a controller to shoot their firearms, right? So it's pretty funny. But anyway, it hurted my brain. Oh, my God. But yeah, so let's see here. I'm going to get to just a few more. And I think it's October, by the way. Yes, it is October. Okay. That's not the right one I wanted to do, but where'd it go? Sorry. There it is. It's October, Red October. Chet, thank you. Yes, that is right. Have you seen the Halo 8-gauge shotgun? No, I haven't. I've seen some of the 4-bores that are out there. Thank you, Kentucky Ballistics. That seems ridiculous. Let's see here. Not till they bring the Nick Merckx bundle. Fair enough. I want to say I've got... Oh, dude, you're not bothering me. Texas 13, thank you again, man. You are not bothering me at all. Appreciate you tuning in and supporting the channel. It means a lot. But thank you for everything you do. Keep being a solid defender of our 2A rates. Got your 6 anytime. Appreciate that. If I keep talking the way I'm talking, I might, need you guys to back me up, because I'm sure there's, a lot of people that don't like when I say that just about every 3-letter agency shouldn't exist. And when I tell people to rebel against gun laws, because all gun laws are an infringement, when I say what I wish I would have done is gone back in time and not purchased an SBR, but purchased the Mark 18 pistol and just thrown a stock on it. I'm sure that makes people mad. But their opinions don't matter. Right? That's about what I wish I would have done, not what I actually did, right? So we've all watched the movie Law Abiding Citizen, right? So there you go. But let's see here. I know one of you was asking about my favorite 3X magnifier. I really like the EOTech G33. It's proven, reliable, EOTech, right? And as far as sling goes, there are 3 slings that are my favorite. And they each have a different application, right? If I want a dedicated 2-point sling, I'm going to go with the Blue Force Gear Vickers Combat Sling. If I want a 2-point to 1-point option, I'm going to go with the Tech 10 sling. And if I want a dedicated single-point sling, I'm going to go with the McLean Core. There you go, Neil McLean. McLean Core sling that has an administrative carry mode that looks like a 2-point, but keeps it nice and tight to the body. The moment you need a single point sling, you've got it, right? So there we go. American Daddy-O. By the way, I've been kind of hard on Kaya, but after finding out a little bit more about his history, I feel I owe the guy an apology. Please pass that on. He'll know who it is. That's funny. Cheers. And yeah, I'll say American Daddy-O says he's sorry, but appreciates you. Like I said, Kaya's a good guy. Glad he's there. He's letting me take a little bit of a break. Whenever you've done a lot of videos and things like that, and all that type of stuff. A lot goes into this job. I'll be honest with you. I see a couple of you guys, comment, this is a dream job and things like that, and you're absolutely right. But it's more than just flipping on a camera and recording something, and I've got a lot of stuff happening in my personal life too, and so I am really appreciative of the team, Matt, Kaya, Sarah. Of course, the guys that you don't always see in front of the camera, but there's John, who just does an excellent job. He's, he helps us on production. He's also our social media manager. Ryan, of course, who you guys should know if you've been watching the channel for the last couple of years. Ryan, who honestly does a lot of the work when it comes up with, figuring out what the content's going to be, scheduling and coordinating, and different manufacturers coming to visit and all that type of stuff. Definitely great guy to have on the team, and I consider him a good friend. And then there's a lot of guys too that's just content creation as far as video goes. Then you got the guys that are making the social media stuff, like I said, John, but also the emails. And dude, it's a lot. We have a whole team dedicated to try to bring you guys all of the entertainment, information, and hopefully quality content that keeps you guys coming back. And I appreciate them all greatly. If any of you guys are watching, thank you. So anyway, last question. I'm going to call it here. MJ. All right. Thanks. Bring back Alec. Hey, I'd love to have him on, but as I mentioned at the beginning of the chat, he's started his own business. He's doing, landscaping and stuff like that. Wanted to be an entrepreneur. More power to him, and I'm proud of him for going after his goals and attacking them. All right. I'm not questioning your authority. I'm denying its existence completely. Yes. But this is the one I wanted to get to. A boy and his mischief. Clint, do you think a 5.56 suppressor is worth it? Yes. A dedicated 5.56 gun on 5.56 gun. A dedicated 5.56 silencer is totally worth it, because you're going to get better performance out of the 5.56 cartridge. So absolutely, if you have a gun that you're going to keep as a suppressor host and full-time suppressed, then yeah, absolutely, it's worth it. However, if you want a can that you can put on multiple different calibers and multiple different firearms, then yeah, you want to go with something a little bit larger in caliber if you're going to be shooting larger calibers. Like if you want to do a 30 cal can to put on your 5.56 gun, you can absolutely do that, but it won't perform as well as a dedicated 5.56 can. And of course, I mean that with flash suppression and sound suppression, and perhaps even point of impact and all that type of stuff. But yeah. All right. Yeah, so I tell you guys I'm going to hop off, and what do? You hit me with a couple more super chats. I appreciate it, but I'll get to them. Frank, hi Clint, movie Extraction 2 came out. Heard it's better than the first one. I heard that as well. I will be watching it, and yes, top 5 guns from Extraction 2 coming soon. All right, so thank you, Frank, for that. Tanner, hope all is going well, Clint. Take care of yourself, man. I will, and I will leave it off there. Guys, this video will be posted to YouTube, so comment there. If I didn't get to your question throughout the week, I will tune back in and talk to you guys. All right, so thank y'all so much for tuning in again. It really does mean a lot to me. It means a lot to everybody I've mentioned just a couple of moments ago that work on this channel, that work at Classic. Like I said, it's more than just me. Right? I'm the guy in front of the camera that you see a lot of the time. Obviously, you see Kaya quite a bit. Obviously, you see Matt quite a bit. And you're starting to see Sarah a little bit more, which we're all really excited to bring her on. And that's just, excellent. And then there's so many people that work behind the scenes. And again, that's just content creation. And then the people, the guys and gals that are, you know, the lifeblood of Classic, are our warehouse employees and our customer service team that do a bang up job at taking care of you guys, our customers. So, you know, God bless all of them. God bless you guys. Thank you guys again for tuning in, and tune in next week where we will talk more guns and stuff. And, you know, if there's, yeah, appreciate it. You know, thank you. I'm just, you know, reading a little bit more from you, American Daddy-O. So yeah, thank you guys. But anyway, let me quit looking at the chats or else I'll keep, you know, doing that. Cause I always say that, let's call it here, and then I keep going. But no, again, thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate all of you guys. And you'll see me in a couple of videos coming out, I do believe this week. And of course, next Monday, I have a calendar somewhere. Next Monday, what is today? The 19th, the 26th. I don't think I've got anything going on that day. So yeah, let's hang out again, and make sure you guys, you know, cheers. Let me know what you guys are drinking. God bless you guys. See you next week. Oh, and repeal the NFA, end the ATF. Screw big government.